And from wearing a gold miner's costume on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad to consulting with Fortune Global 500 companies. The journey sounds a little bit unlikely, doesn't it? But today I want to share with you something that might surprise you a little bit. And it is that the principles that create magic at Disney, that they work everywhere, even in your industry. Now I get you might be a little skeptical. So let me just address some of the pushback that I receive from clients who are also a bit skeptical. Now I'll often hear people say, well, that's Disney, Danny. Yeah, this is the real world. Or we're not an entertainment company. Or our customers aren't guests on vacation. Now I hear this constantly, and believe me, I understand it. Okay, because when you are dealing with stressed out customers, tight deadlines, bottom line pressure, Disney can often seem a little irrelevant. All right, believe me, I understand. But here's my response that always stops them in their tracks. I'll say, you know what, you are absolutely right. However, your customers are even more demanding than Disney's guests. Okay, because think about it. Disney guests, now they're happy, they're excited, and they're ready to be delighted. Now don't get me wrong, they are demanding as well. But they're on vacation, and they want to have fun. Your customers, on the other hand, now they're stressed, they're busy, and they're skeptical. They're dealing with real problems that your product or your service needs to solve for them. And that is exactly why Disney principles are more powerful in your business, not less. Okay, because if these principles work with people who are already happy, just imagine what they can do with people who are challenging, demanding, and frustrated. I know I learned this working on what is known as the wildest ride in the wilderness. All right, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad out there at the Magic Kingdom. Now every day I would deal with tired families, scared children afraid to get on the rides, impatient guests. There'd be operational challenges. I mean, does any of this sound familiar? Because that is exactly what your employees face every single day with your customers. And so today I want to share with you 4 universal principles that I discovered that work in any industry. Now, principle number 1, every interaction either builds or breaks trust. Now, whether you're helping somebody onto a mine train or you are processing an insurance claim, that moment either moves you closer or further away from them. Now, the key to moving in the right direction is understanding the context and the emotions of the person you're serving. Now, loading a guest onto a thrill ride, that is a significantly different emotional state than processing an insurance claim. But each guest getting on that ride is a unique individual and should be treated that way. Each one of your customers, they are unique. They are dealing with their own challenges. If you are going to truly stand out and build a connection, the interactions need to adjust based on the individual in front of you. You can't simply treat the next customer the way you did the previous one. But principle number 2, consistency creates confidence. Now that consistency part, that might seem like it almost contradicts a little bit what I just said. So let me just be clear here. Now, consistency on a day-to-day basis or a location-to-location basis is absolutely crucial for a business. But here is the key distinction. You are consistent in your standards, not your interactions. So here's what should be consistent. Your quality standards, your response times, your problem-solving approach, your commitment to excellence, your company core values. Now here's what should be personalized. How you communicate with each customer, the specific solutions that you offer, your energy level and approach, the details that you focus on, okay, how you address their unique situation. Because think of it like a 5-star restaurant, okay? Every guest is going to receive the same high standards of food quality, right? The same service, timing, and attention to detail. But the sommelier is going to adjust the wine recommendation based on individual preferences. The server is going to adapt their communication style to match a table's energy. And the chef is going to adjust based on dietary restrictions. So it's the consistency that creates trust in the mind of your customer. So in their mind, they're now thinking, I know this place will take care of me, and I feel confident coming back time and time again. Then it's the personalization that creates the connection. Because now they think they really get me and they understand what I need. Now at Disney, this played out perfectly, okay? Because every guest, they received the same safety standards, same cleanliness, the same commitment to magic. But cast members adjusted their interactions based on the guest that was standing in front of them. They'd have high energy with excited kids. They'd have patient guidance with confused families. Or there'd be gentle reassurance with nervous first-time riders. So now in your business, customers should think, I can count on them to deliver excellence, no matter where I am, no matter who I'm interacting with. So that's the consistency. And then they really get me and my situation. There's the personalization. Now here's where you can run into problems. So this is the danger of inconsistent standards. All right, customers never know on a daily basis what quality of service they're going to receive. Now they're just at the whims of whoever they happen to be interacting with that day. Now that leaves way too much to chance and interpretation on the part of the employee as to what great service is supposed to look like. If employees haven't been trained and don't know what a great experience is supposed to look like, they just make it up as they go. Then there's the danger of identical interactions. Okay, then customers feel processed, not served. Now, if you're just moving customers through the line, you're just going through the motions, it is incredibly difficult for us as a customer to feel any sense of loyalty. Now, what I find is that worldwide service leaders are always on the lookout to build a connection and see the person for the unique individual that they are. So then the sweet spot is that reliable excellence delivered with a personal touch. Oh, principle number 3, the details matter a lot more than you think. At Disney, we obsessed over details that guests might never consciously ever notice. Now, in your business, those same details signal competence. They signal care. Right, the message a cluttered desk sends to a customer that now wonders where their stack of paperwork is going to end up in the mountain of paperwork that's building on your desk. Right, or what a patient might think if they're sitting in a hospital waiting room and they see a dead fish floating in the fish tank. Now they're thinking, if they can't even keep the fish alive, what chance do I have? So experience your business like a customer and look at the hundreds of little details that they have to encounter during the course of doing business with you. Are the details saying what you want them to say? And then finally, principle number 4, employees who feel valued serve customers better. Now this was true when I wore a costume, and it's true for every corporation I've worked with. When you're happy, when you feel like you matter and are cared for, it's only natural that you're going to be a much better employee. You're going to serve your customers better. On the flip side, if you're constantly being talked down to, you're being treated like you're less than, you're constantly feeling inferior, overworked, or overwhelmed, it's incredibly difficult not to let that impact your interactions with your customers. So are there differences between Disney and your industry? Obviously, there are. But what I have learned over years of consulting is this: human nature doesn't change based on industry. The truth is, whether you are operating a mine train attraction or you are running a multi-billion-dollar corporation, your job is the same. You are creating positive experiences for people. And people want to feel valued, respected, and cared for. And that doesn't change whether you're wearing Mickey Mouse ears or business suits. So here's my question for you. What would change if you treated every single customer interaction like it was happening at the happiest place on earth? Okay, because the costume may change, but the principles remain the same. Your customers, they might not be on vacation, but they still deserve to feel like they matter. So start with one principle. Pick one interaction. Make it magical. Because if it works in the real world of stressed, demanding customers, imagine what it can do for your business. So the magic, it isn't in the mouse ears. It's in how you make people feel. Now, I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you'd like additional customer service resources, I'm including a link down there in the video description below to my Stand store. There you're going to find 3 free resources. One is a customer experience mapping tool. There's a customer experience checklist. And there's also a document that outlines the 5 customer service mistakes that most companies make and how you can avoid them. You can also find additional resources about Snow and Associates, about our training offerings, at www.snowassociates.com. I'm going to include another video right here that I think you'll find to be helpful as well. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.